What does it do? It grinds away the masculinity of men. The men there are devoid of masculinity. The spirit of Ishtar inhabits our culture and seeks exactly this, to grind away the masculinity of men and the femininity of women. Ishtar dominates and subjugates her lovers. She even destroys Tammuz. In the movie Barbie, Ken is vanquished along with the other men. Ishtar is depicted as defying male authority. So to the doll from which Barbie sprang, Build Lily, Ishtar sought to bend, break, and subvert conventions, roles, and moral parameters. So too did Build Lily, from which Barbie originated. What about the term and concept of the patriarchy that keeps coming up in the movie? The movie rails against the patriarchy. Ishtar, or Inanna, was the daughter of the ancient god Anu. He was the head of a pantheon of gods, a patriarchy. Ishtar, or Inanna, continually defied the authority of the patriarchy, and thus the war against the patriarchy. It was in the 1960s that America began intentionally removing God from its culture. Barbie was introduced into America just at that moment, as the 1960s were about to begin. And it was in the 1960s that her popularity skyrocketed. Ishtar was the goddess of sexuality, and it was the 1960s in which came the sexual revolution, and in which also came the dramatic weakening and destruction of marriage. The movie advocates that women be separated from men and men from women, whether it's Barbie's rejection of Ken and a marriage proposal to be with women. And the war or separation of men and women in Barbie land comes into play throughout the movie. In The Return of the Gods, I write of the spirits that accompanied Ishtar, and I share this ancient inscription, quote, "They tear away the wife from the man's embrace." Again, they tear away the wife from a man's embrace. And I write in the book, so the goddess's most dramatic return to the world would be joined to the spirits that separated man from woman and woman from man, and that would work towards the deconstruction of marriage and the disintegration of the family. So this spirit and the spirit of the goddess tears men away from women and women away from men. They take a wife from a man's embrace and a husband from a wife's embrace. So the spirit inhabiting our culture now removes men from women and women from men. In the movie, the women take up all the important roles of society and the men are separated into meaningless pursuits. So how do you remove men from women and women from men? You do it through the weakening and destruction of marriage. You do it through divorce. You do it by telling men and women they don't need each other, by telling them that the other is a hindrance to them. You do it by telling them that they can perform every role of the other. And you tell them that they can replace the other without the other. Men can replace women and the functions of women, and women can replace the functions of men. You replace them with same-sex sexuality, where men separate from women to be with men and women from men to be with women. You replace them by telling them that one can become the other or be transitioned into the other. That was Ishtar. And that is the movie Barbie. The subtext is men and women don't need each other and are actually hindrances to each other, and men should become separated from women and women from men. And the fact that you have allusions to homosexuality or transsexuality is all part of it. The movie Barbie is a manifestation of the spirit that's been indwelling, inhabiting America, increasingly since the 1960s, since the time Barbie came. Am I saying that Barbie is Ishtar? No. But I am saying that the spirit of the goddess will appear and will manifest in a multitude of manifestations. The gods were icons of their culture, and so the metamorphosis of American and Western civilization is going to manifest in the changing of its icons. Barbie is an icon and is a manifestation of that spirit and that metamorphosis. Even the movement away from the dolls of babies and little children to a doll that came from a sex toy is part of it. It represented the beginning step, the first step, the step of women away from motherhood and marriage to an existence that had no necessary connection to men.